All right, welcome to the space, everybody. My name is James. I'm going to be your host with the most. I'm here to support Nancy because she's doing something really amazing. And, I personally have experienced the secret magic juju sauce that is Nancy. She helped me through some really deep stuff. I mean, really instantly, right off the bat, once we met, I had a beautiful conversation with her. Felt like I knew her forever. And then over the past about months since we've been getting to know each other, she's really helped me through some deep stuff. It wasn't very long. It's like 10, 15, 20 minutes, but like to just have someone who really has your back as someone who holds space for a lot of people has been really potent for me. So I wanted to help and do whatever I could to get the word out for her because she's doing a certification, hypnotist certification program. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking. I just want to kick it over to her because it's the Q&A space. So anyone who is either interested in hypnosis, learning hypnosis, now's the time to ask someone who's a master level hypnotist. Any question is welcome, and we're going to open up the space big and broad to those questions. And without further ado, let's. I'm going to kick it over to Nancy, and we'll show you like the program layout and what the structure is in a second. But just introduce yourself, Nancy, for those who may not know you or are catching this in the future.
All right. So, hi, everybody. My name is Nancy, and I am the founder of Nangamai Hypnosis and Nangamai Hypnosis Institute. And Legacy Hypnosis Academy is my teaching school on the school platform. So, it's my digital platform. That's my academy for the digital platform. I have been a hypnotist, gosh, it's been 10 years that I've been doing this, and I've been doing this full time for 10 years. It was really just it was a fluke. It was a real fluke. Um, I was going through some really rough times in my life. I had just lost my father, and I couldn't figure out, in my personal life, whether I was up, down, or sideways. So I decided one day that I was going to go to a wise woman circle. And I went to this circle and I knew the woman who was doing this circle. And I went and we did all of our talking, and it's a shaman circle. So, you pass the talking stick and everything is, you know, you talk, you cry, you do all of that. And when we finished that, I was walking out and I said to her, I said, I've done a little bit of hypnosis and it really has helped me. I think that's the direction I want to go. I want to do this. And I got a tap on the shoulder and I turned around and there was this woman wearing her shaman shawl and just all beautiful, and she turns around and she says, "Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a hypnotist. When would you like to start? I teach hypnosis." So I knew right then that this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And since that day, I started training 2 weeks later. I became a certified hypnotist through her program. I did all of my practicum work, which probably took me about a year to get my 200 hours because I was trying to figure things out. And I had a mother with stage 4 Alzheimer's, so I was taking care of her too. So once I got that 200 hours, I got my hypnotherapist license, my certification. Now, I live in the state of Florida, and it is very unfortunate, but in the state of Florida, you cannot call yourself a hypnotherapist unless you have had 4 years of college in some form of therapy. So I am still considered a hypnotist. So when you ask me, I will always say I am a hypnotist. It doesn't matter where I am always a hypnotist because it's become a part of my lingo now. But I am a certified hypnotherapist through the International Hypnosis Federation. So I'm a hypnotherapist internationally. There are only 3 countries that I cannot perform in. So, and pretty much they're blowing themselves up right now, so it really doesn't matter. So it's really when you do this, you are opening yourself up to something worldwide. you are truly a part of the worldwide community. Not only hypnotists that are here in the United States, but once you start working, you're going to start working with people that are all over the world, and you're going to start making connections with some of the most amazing people you will ever meet. So that's me. Does anybody have any
Oh
questions
boy.
about me? So,
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you guys have a nice, firm little understanding now of who you're connecting with, and I know there's probably some familiar faces for Nancy tonight. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna open up the circle. Right away, I know, Rocio, you have some questions and you got to run first, so we'll make sure that you're in there. And at the end of this conversation, she's going to let you know how you can attend her training. I'm personally going to be attending. I have a friend named Jessica who's going to be attending, and we're working on another friend of ours at the moment. So it's going to be a party. It's going to be fun. So at the end, we'll let you know how you can attend. There's an early bird special. There's no pressure to buy anything, but there is a little, early bird special at the end of this. And if now's not the time, we're also planting seeds. So Nancy's going to be doing a three-part masterclass series over the course of the next month, so you can really get to know, like, and trust her, get to feel her energy, the potency. And often, what I've found is if I sit in the room with the right person, and if I feel it's correct, I got the tap on the shoulder too. You know what I mean? I got the tap on the shoulder when I started with hypnosis. So this may be a tap on the shoulder for you, but we wanted to make it a very safe transition, and a firm decision if that's what you want to do. So Rocio, do you have any questions for Nancy? We're going to open floor, and who knows what kind of mystical, magical genie powers are going to pop out during the conversation.
let me find Rocio so I can unmute her.
Haha.
Okay, hit the button where I just asked you to unmute, so just hit that. There you go.
Got it. I don't have any questions right now. I just have all gratitude for Nancy. I love her. I love her energy. I love what she does. I'm so grateful to know her and so grateful that she's helping so many people. That's all I wanted to say at this moment. I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Rocio.
You're
You are
welcome.
always loved.
Oh, you are too. Thank you so much.
And Rocio, quick question for you. Did you already take the program, or and have you worked with Nancy in the past?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome. So what can
Yes.
someone expect if they work with Nancy? Because now I didn't mean to do this, but we have a question for you. What can someone expect if they decide to work with Nancy?
Magic. She's
Uh,
magical. So once
Now
you're
I'm blushing.
uh, transformation, clear path, clear visions, healing, magic.
Wow, we can't
We
ask for
very, very
a better
recommend,
testimonial.
highly recommend Nancy, 1000% with capital letters.
So Rocio has taken a course that is very similar to what I do. She hasn't taken my course. She's going to come into my course in the next, hopefully in the next couple of months. She'll come in and she will be able to experience the course that I have done so that she can see and learn, the nuances that we have that are a little bit different.
Beautiful. You're muted, by the way, Rocio,
No,
just because
she's
there is a mic.
muted again.
That's okay.
Okay. I said yes, thank you, and I'm very excited and very much looking forward to experience her technique. Very much, very
Are we
excited.
are we gonna be classmates, Rocio?
I think so, right?
Okay, all right. Oh, that makes me happy.
Thumbs up. Yes, yes. The
Very
the
good.
process that we learned, I really love it because I combine it with Reiki Master. Um, uh, when I do the Reiki, I kind of like introduce both, if that makes any sense, the Reiki with the hypnosis. So I am so looking forward to learn Nancy's technique. very much.
Very good. And that's thank you very much, Rocio. And whenever you need to drop, just let us know. Just give us a little so we can
Well,
bye.
So we can say goodbye.
Beautiful. And that's just a nice little point. Just 10-second interjection for the next question. I always say that hypnosis is a force multiplier, meaning if you do massage, if you do Reiki, if you do parts therapy, if you, whatever it is, if you talk, hypnosis is going to multiply the potency and impact of what you do times 10. And that's what I learned, and that's why I think it's a base foundation every human being should learn in kindergarten. That's my mission. But what I'd love to do is let's just get a quick read of the room. Drop a 1 in the chat if you have worked with Nancy before, like actually like signed up with her, gone through a process. Drop a 2 if it's the first time meeting, and drop a 3 if Nancy's awesome. You just want to say 3. Okay, cool. One. Okay, lots of people work. Beautiful. Okay, so now I have a read of the room. And if you guys could turn on your cameras, that'd be awesome. It's not expected, but it's there's Aaron. What up?
hey
Okay, the
guys,
fit.
sorry, I had
I
to
know
get some
Lisa,
stuff
Lisa
and now
is
I'm back.
working, so I know Lisa can't have her camera on right now. So
That's fine. And
we've already had that discussion.
we got Shannon the Forest Fairy. Welcome, Karen and Aaron and Lisa and Rebecca. So, any other questions? Let's tune in.
All
Who's
right,
got
I
some
saw a
questions?
question from Rebecca.
Mhm. Go for it.
The difference between the types of hypnosis,
Oh,
and
heck
can
yeah.
you explain what you're asking for?
Well, you just finished saying something about the nuances of what you do versus what she has done before. I've only experienced hypnosis once, and so I didn't know there were like different flavors
Okay.
or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. So there are different types of hypnosis. So James, if you've been in any of James's classes, James practices conversational hypnosis. So he will tell stories and he will talk and he will walk you through whatever it is you're doing through a conversation. There's also direct suggestion hypnosis, which is what we do a lot of times when we're changing habits. Like if you're a smoker or you're looking to control your weight or you're looking to stop biting your nails or you're looking to stop grinding your teeth. All of those, we would give you direct suggestions, like saying to you, you are a non smoker, so that we would talk directly to your subconscious mind and allow your subconscious mind to take that on and become the new habit. There's also regression and regression therapy, which is a combination of direct suggestion and conversational. But what that does is the regression takes you either back to a time that you need to look at and you need to work with, or it takes you forward to a time that you're headed towards, either if you don't change something or to show you how wonderful things may be. So, all of the different ways that we do this, I have a tendency to work a lot with regression. So a lot of people, a lot of teachers, and a lot of the hypnotists that are, really the big time hypnotists, they do a lot of direct suggestion. And they tell you that this is what's going to happen, and your mind takes it on and makes it your habit. I like to do it more as a regression type. So I like to talk to the subconscious and I like to get in there and talk to that child that may need something changed. Or I like to talk to the knight from 935 who is getting ready to go into battle and is terrified. And because that knight is so terrified, every time you get in your car, you might be terrified to drive because you're going into battle. So we talk to that knight and we get rid of that fear from that night, and all of a sudden you don't have a fear to drive. Did that make sense? I have a tendency to talk a lot. So
No, Nancy, what I want you to know is please talk. Just I love it. It makes me so happy. And that was a great breakdown. So you guys get to see there's lots of different styles and flavors. It's like imagine that you're at potluck, family potluck or something. Everyone brings a dish to pass. Nancy literally has the table with all of the different trays on it. And she's really good at a few of them, but you're going to learn so much about the history of hypnosis during the program and the course, all the different styles, different ways, smoking cessation, past life, spirit, all the things you need to know. And it's kind of like a potluck. Is that safe to say, Nancy?
It is. What we
Yeah.
do in this is we hit on a variety of different modalities within hypnosis so that you know how to do them and you are proficient at them. Once you are proficient and you're out there working, we have classes that can go deeper so that you can learn more about it and you can become more than proficient. Now, if you choose not to do any of that, you have enough to go out there, start your business, and be a full-time hypnotist.
Yep.
So, a lot of times, people, how many people are here from the United States? Is it
Well,
everybody?
Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
Most people.
Okay. So, in the United States, hypnosis is considered woo-woo. It's considered magic. It's considered against Christianity in a lot of forms. So we have a lot of backlash. So we will work differently than someone who lives in Europe, who is from England or from the Netherlands, because they are totally in tune with what the mind can do. So, as we're teaching these things, we're teaching you all different things so that you can work whatever it is your client believes. Because again, here in the United States, you have to figure out where you can work with your clients because they come from so many different backgrounds and so many different belief systems. I've had clients that were totally spiritual. I've had ones that were atheist. I've had ones that walked in and said, I don't believe anything about this, but I'm willing to try. Okay. So with those people, all you do is let them relax. There's no agenda to anything that we do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Very good. Can you guys just raise the hands? Who has a specific question for Nancy, specifically related to her style, the program, certification? There's a little button that's if you guys, does anyone have anything?
Silence.
Ooh,
Erin,
can I add on real quickly? Because
yeah, go
like
for it.
specifically about what Nancy was just talking about. So hi, I'm Erin. I'm also in the wellness world and I'm working towards a very specific focus. And one of the reasons I chose Nancy as my teacher was because a lot of the things that as like a Reiki master, as a breath work, blah, 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 there's a user ability having a live class with Nancy when you can take your already had trainings or questions and put it through with her as a scenario so that when you're in the middle of a session, and this has happened to me a handful of times already, where you kind of get something out of left field because a client doesn't really tell you that they do or don't believe this, or they do or don't want to share something when they're in the hypnotic state. And the thing I learned from Nancy's classes that I didn't learn from other kind of hypnosis opportunities I had was that she's like, oh, when you hit this point, that means that the client is doing this. And you might want to stop and think about doing it differently and like approaching it from another angle. And like, this is the wording that you use, and here's a script that goes with it. It's like having a preformed, you know, professional space to not just be in to understand, but then expand upon because she points out a lot of that in the training. So if you're like a guided meditation person or you're a Reiki person and you're doing those, it's very different when someone's talking back to you and you have to help them interpret what they're experiencing. And she gives you that language and like that preemptive understanding to be a little bit more free in how you're helping your customer. Sorry, I just kind of had to add that because that was my favorite part
No,
about
that
class.
was that was great. Nancy,
Well,
mind if I
Jump
take a
in.
the
second?
the funny thing, and it is a funny story. I had a student, and she was one of my first students, and she was in a hypnosis session, and she got stuck. And she couldn't figure out what to do. She went blank. She somehow lost all of her papers. Everything was all over her office. She couldn't figure out where it was, and she had somebody in hypnosis. She called me and said, "What do I do?" And we went through all that she could do while she was standing right outside her room watching her client. She kept coming in and going, "And you're relaxing and you're so deep and she'd come back and talk to me until we figured it out. And then she went back into her session and finished her session with the information that we had worked out together. So it's you're not out there alone. You're really not. So,
Yeah,
so
and
Can
one
I
thing I'd
jump
like.
in too?
Oh, Lisa, yeah, go for it.
Sorry, my camera's not on. I'm working and I'm a little ill, so I apologize.
No worries at
Um,
all.
so I just want to say I took Nancy a couple of Nancy's classes, and what I love about her teaching style in general is first off, she goes head first, dives in, and she just really spends a lot of time researching these things. So she knows the ins and outs, so she can teach you the ins and outs. And I really appreciate that she not only says first off, she doesn't really say she's an expert, but she is an expert. She but she portrays that in everything that she does. Um, but the way she teaches is very logical, down to earth. She gives you step by step, like Aaron was saying, step by step instructions that make sense. If you don't get it, she'll word it a different way for you so it does. And then she gives you practice time on top of it, which is, I mean, I think wonderful. I don't think a lot of teachers actually do that. And she's really, really open to questions, questions that maybe are off that are unusual in spiritual nature, that like she was saying in Florida, in America, wouldn't be appreciated by this realm, other hypnotists. But Nancy just takes it in stride and answers it as it comes. And she's just a wonderful teacher.
So, yes, in case you're wondering, I loaded this entire group with everybody to talk really good about me.
Well, everyone's a paid actor.
Well, I have to say something too, please.
Absolutely, Mila. Bye, Rocio.
Okay. So much that they say that is true, but one thing that I want to add, that I appreciate your support since day one. You have, and I always tell you that you are my mentor, teacher, friend, right? Every minute that I needed something, any question. Remember the beginning, I used to call you a lot. I still call you, but my doubts, sometimes I'm in the middle of the session, say, oh, what am I doing? But, thanks to you, I am where I am, and looking to keep working with you and doing more things and keep learning. But the support is very appreciated. The support and the continuous mentoring that is coming from you, your positive outcome, and how you get to each individual. You are, Lisa said magic, or Rocio, I think. You actually get to know each individual person, the personalities, the like, the dislike, and you get to that point that you know how to talk individually to each one in one way that is clear. So I'm appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Nancy, do you have anything, or can I take
Go
over
ahead.
for 30 seconds? Yeah. First of all, my heart feels really happy just being in the space with all you guys. And it makes me really happy because I decided I met Nancy and I was just like, all right, this is it. This is what I've been working towards, and I just wanted to share a little story with everyone just to kind of show the power of hypnosis. When I was young, 5, 6 years ago when I first started doing this, I didn't know what I was doing. People would come to me and I would be the guy that people would open up about their life. Like that was always kind of my heart. I would just listen to people, they would share, they would cry. I was like, I should be a life coach. Let me be like, I don't get paid enough for this. So I took a couple classes. But what happened was I took a hypnosis program. I went to hypnosis first for myself, and after 3 sessions, I was like, is this what safe feels like? This is what it is. And as soon as I got done with that, my own personal hypnotherapy where I went to a hypnotherapist, I was like, I need to do this. This is what it is. I want to help people like this. It's so powerful, so impactful, so quick. It's not, I thought I was going to be in therapy for 10 years like everyone else I knew, but no, it was like 8, 10 weeks. And like my whole life was different. Um, and when I learned the power of hypnosis, it's so crazy. I just did my first 3 month session for free. Like, hey, my friend, I'm working on it. I'm learning. I'll just do it for free. We're going to connect. And after a month, she said, James, 1 month with you has been more impactful than 10 years of therapy. It's not because I was special, it's because hypnosis is powerful, right? So it doesn't take long. The techniques aren't hard. You already know the hardest part, which is English. So if
But
you know English,
it doesn't
yeah,
need to be English.
of
I
course.
teach in English, but remember, there are so many people that speak so many languages. If you are a hypnotist speaking Russian here in the United States, you're going to get people that nobody else is going to get.
I do in Spanish.
My
So,
apologies. I meant language. That's just my own limitations is the language of English. My apologies.
Oh,
But
you will.
hypnosis is universal, you know?
Maybe you say to take the class. Yes, you have to
Yeah.
know English
in
to take the class.
English,
But
I
you know
speak
what I do?
English.
I have my scripts in English, and when I have to do in Spanish, I translate it right away. I keep
Wow.
everything in English. It's easy for me to translate from English to Spanish than Spanish to English. So I do it right away. And one thing that I forgot to mention is I'm a Reiki master too. So I always start with Reiki and then I do the right away start hypnosis. Um, so I offer that. Well, I'm not gonna go and talking more about my sessions, but it's powerful when I started with Reiki.
Very good. My apologies for the English.
No, it's okay. And I want everybody, and that's one thing that's really important to me because I've had people told that they couldn't do this because they didn't speak English well enough. Well, guess what? They're wrong.
Yeah,
Anybody can do this.
yeah.
So,
And I had to say something. It's kind of funny, but it was interesting. Okay, I was doing the hypnosis in English last week with this girl, and she's Latina like me, and she started answering in Spanish. So I kept talking English, and she kept answering me back in Spanish. And then I went to Spanish. Then I went to English. It went well. It went
That's
well.
so beautiful.
you have to be able to flow because you never
Yeah,
know what you're going to come up against.
yeah.
That's right.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Beautiful. So,
Well,
this is amazing. Go ahead, Corinne. Karen or Corinne?
I've been called worse, so you choose.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry. Okay, go for it.
My first name's Karin, so it's Karin in Spanish, but
Howdy.
Nancy and they're all Karim, so that's been years, so I stick with that. And
I've
Karen,
always
to
called her
those that,
Kareem.
who knows? It's all good. I have a different perspective and experience. Well, let's just say more of an experience. I've always been the type of person that said, I want to know what makes you tick. That has been forever. I want to go right into the source. So I've never had an issue on having real deep conversations off the bat. Um, and I always say I'm not here for shallow conversations. Having said that, um, I have not taken the course, and I that's something that I told Nancy from the get go. I said I want to do this, but this is not the right time at this moment, and I trust the fact that the time will come. But as my healing process began, and Nancy and have experience in other classes, our alchemy and other things.
She takes my spiritual classes.
Yeah, this is now our what, maybe fourth year, third year, I don't remember, but we've had different experiences in that aspect. So when I did hypnosis to begin with, or even subsequent after that, it's more like, I need to take care of this. This is what I feel. I gotta go in. And in the beginning, it was like, I don't know what, but X. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna feel? What am I supposed to answer? Am I supposed to go be knocked out? Like that was my first thing. But the fact is that the easiness that everything transpired, because just the sound of her voice was like, okay. And you just go in, and then you got to trust yourself. And whatever comes up, it was almost like there's never a wrong answer, because that's what your subconscious is telling you. So that guidance was amazing in that aspect. But for me also, having that trust that the assistance of our spiritual world is so at her hand. And and I know that when that comes through, I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, but basically what that comes through, I know that that belongs to me. Does that make sense? Whether it's my guides, whether, is the realm, anything. And the fact that I'm such a beautiful hands, and the moment that everything's taken care of, I completely like, it's done and over with, beautiful. But who was present because of her assistance and guidance? That for me is hands down. And I've known other hypnosis, and I'm like, Nancy, is this real? Because all I do is talk. I never talk. It's like, well, there's different kinds, but I already know where I need to go. It's like, I'm like, sorry, I just know. And so that, as a client, as a friend, my experience in such a beautiful experience, it almost, it's like the other day I was like, I need to go get a hypnosis. It almost like gets me addicted, like, okay, Karen, you're supposed to work it within yourself first, or try that, because Nancy knows, like, I want the answers now. But anyways, that's what I wanted to say, as a client, as a friend, that experience where she's not alone with her gift. She's a wonderful, I say, what I say, like a vessel as well. And I'm just so honored, to know her in so many facets and have experiences with her in other ways too. So that's all. And my time will come.
And I'm honestly, this was not supposed to be a let's talk about Nancy. Let's talk about the course.
Okay,
About the
I'll chime in
course.
on the course then. So, quick background is that I am working towards my PhD in quantum medicine due to my issues. And so, part of my requirements for my schooling was taking hypnosis. So, how I came to do Nancy was, not only was she my hypnotherapist, but I got into this other course, these virtual courses that they talk about, where um, you have to like just understand, and it's like one way or the other way, and there's like these other two types of hypnosis. It was so dry. It was so bad. I called Nancy. I was like, Nancy, I can't do this, and I can't pass my next degree level without this class. Like, I need to jump in on your class. We have to make this happen. So not only did she give me an awesome payment plan, which was phenomenal, which I know she extends graciously to other students. So if you're thinking about that, there are options for deposit and then paying before you arrive. Um, it's the best blend from all the courses that I researched, from my quantum university towards all the way to Nancy. I have not found any other course that incorporates the technical, the logistical, the spiritual, the up, the down, the in, the out, because other classes, other schools only think, in my opinion, myopically. So for those who are considering other programs out there, you will not get the support that Nancy gives, or the well-rounded background that we get in this particular class as well. So when you get to the point of you researching the value of your money and the certification level that you're getting, Nancy School not only qualified in my university for my PhD track, but it is the best well-rounded program that I've come across.
Thank you. So the program itself it was handed down to me I am the third generation of having this program. It was written by a man named Gerald Kine, who was one of the founders of the National Guild of Hypnotists up in New York City, the Omni Hypnosis. And they are the hypnotists of the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. You know, they were the people. So he wrote this particular course, and then he handed it down to my teacher, Catherine, who then handed it down to me. So we do a lot of what is required through the National Guild. The class itself follows that type of a curriculum so that it's well-rounded and it hits all different sections of hypnosis. So we start with the foundations and we do 2 days of foundational work. So you'll learn inductions, you'll learn how to bring people into trance, you'll learn how to count people out of trance. You learn how to work with groups so that anything that if you just took the foundational class, you would know how to hypnotize someone and you would be very comfortable with it. It's not the deep work. It's not the work going into a lot of heavy kind of emotional type things, but it is the work that will, you can go out, you can do a stop smoking group the minute you walk out of your foundation class. You're ready to go. It gives you just that much information. Then we move on to the advanced techniques. So we move on to pain relief. We move on to why is my brain so blank? So all of the we do so many
You know,
things. Habit
I have the
habit
PDF.
forming.
I have the PDF
Yes,
up if you want
please,
to just
thank
show the
you, because
schedule.
my brain literally went blank. It's like we do so many things in the
Spirit.
advanced techniques.
Spirit was telling us. So day number one, take them through a day in the life of Nancy the hypnosis trainer.
So what we're doing is in foundations, as you can see, we're doing all of the basics. We're getting you ready to be able to hypnotize someone. So you're going to do what's called a pre-talk, which is talking to the person and getting them ready for hypnosis. You're going to use inductions. You're going to do, yeah,
All of the stuff.
all of this stuff. You're going to do immersions. And the thing that we teach you too is some of the old time hypnosis. There are things that happened in the hypnotic world in the 70s and 80s that you don't see as much right now, but we still teach it to you. So if you ever come across it, you know what to do. Because there's something called a hypnotic seal that was very prevalent in the 70s and 80s that's making a resurgence right now. And when people are put under a hypnotic seal, what that means is someone has told them that they cannot be hypnotized by anybody else but them. And it keeps them beholden to that hypnotist. So we're seeing a resurgence of this, and people don't know how to break that seal. So we're teaching you how to break that seal. So if you ever come across it, you never have to worry. You can help your client and you can help yourself. So as we go on into the second 2 days and we go into the advanced techniques, so that would be day 3. We're going to learn how to run a session. What is the best way to run your sessions? How can you set it up so that your timing works with what you want to do? So you know how much time to space for each particular thing that you want to do. How much time does it take? What do you need to debrief? How long do you need for the client to come back into this waking world and be able to drive away from you safely? And I unfortunately have let people go too soon and they call me and say, I don't know where I am, because they were still in space when they left. So we have to make sure that we do this, that we're very, very careful when we let them go. So what we deal with in the advanced techniques is we do what's called clinical regression. We do parts therapy, phobia elimination, habit change. Those are all advanced techniques. Okay. And clinical regression and spiritual regression are different based on belief systems. So they work just a little bit differently. A clinical regression will not require any belief system. A spiritual one, you have to work with the client's belief system. Personally, I usually go for the spiritual one if they will allow me. I always find it to work a little bit deeper. We work with pain control. We work with PTSD and depression. We work with cancer and terminal illnesses. There's emergency hypnosis that you can do if you come up on an accident. You can help someone while you're waiting for the medics to get there. It gives you the knowledge so that you can move forward on all of this without hurting the client, without getting yourself in trouble, and knowing that you are capable of all of this. When you walk out of the class, you're more than capable. You can do this very, very easily. Then the next 2 days we have is spiritual hypnosis. So we work on spiritual trance. We work on the spiritual regression, inner child regression using the spiritual jargon, past life regression. So clinical regression and inner child regression are the same thing using different techniques. Okay. We also do interlife and womb work. So you'll have a lot of people who say, oh, I've got a wound from when I was in the womb. Something happened when I was in the womb. Well, we can go back to the womb and we can clear that so that they can start to grow in themselves now. We also, I hit on just for a little bit, I am a trained exorcist. So I went through the training to learn how to do these spirit releases. So what I'm teaching you, this is what I know from my training. I'm teaching you how within hypnosis to remove energy, entity, and if it comes up, demon, doesn't mean it's there. But if it comes up, you will have the ability to remove it. I will teach you how to do that. Okay. We also teach you how to work with the higher self. We teach you about secondary gain. And something that I work a lot with, for whatever reason I've been called to, I work with death and dying. A lot of my clients are terminal patients. So I work a lot with hospice. I work a lot with PTSD and the death and dying process through that. So I teach you how to do that. It is a very specialized course. If you do not like it, you at least know how to do it if someone comes to you. Doesn't mean you have to do it. All right. And then the last thing we teach you is how to start your business. What paperwork do you need? What legal forms do you need? What can you expect here in the United States? Now, anybody who's outside the United States, it's going to be a little bit different. But here in the United States, we have all of the laws, all of the legal ramifications, everything that you have to do to start your business. Okay. And then the last day is a day of practice and your certification exam. So the certification exam is a 100-question exam, and you just have to get a 76 on it. So you can go through and get your 76 and you have passed. The other thing about the certification exam, and I don't want anyone to be frightened of it, it is an open book test.
Yeah.
So understand your manual. Everything that we talk about in the class is in your manual. So your manual is 500 pages. It is a textbook. But everything you need to pass that test is in that textbook. You cannot fail.
And it's a great reference too. Like I keep it with me. It travels with me. I enjoy it for reference when I have clients.
So it's a it's a course that touches everything that needs to be touched to get you ready to go out there and be the best that you can be. And I am always here to be a part of your journey if you choose to allow me.
And that's something that I've really felt even before starting the journey. There's not a lot of coaches and mentors, especially who've been around doing it as long as you have, that are still like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. I've been in a lot of programs, a lot of courses where you're their best friend while you're working with them. But then as soon as that monthly retainer comes around, you're like, I think I got what I needed. Okay, cool. Never ever hear from them again. Won't respond to messages. And what I've experienced with Nancy so far is, we're doing some work together on the side, but um, just she's like, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. And I'm that kind of person too. Hey, I'm here to help ease suffering on the planet. So like, if we're working together, if we're friends, if we're just passing by and I'm just planting a seed, just let me know. And I really appreciate that about you, Nancy. Um, so with that, now that you guys have the overview, are there any more questions? And since it sounds like a lot of us are already either in it or have already worked with Nancy personally, we may not have any questions, but the floor is open to you. And if not, we can shift gears.
Rebecca, was I able to answer the questions that you had?
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to start learning it for myself. I'm more interested in, for my own healing, do I need to do it? And I wanted to understand it more because I've heard different things like after I had my experience, I had family members tell me that my therapist planted the idea in my mind. It was a false memory. And so I had to struggle through all that to find my way through that. And so then I've heard recently that, and I knew I was conscious the whole time. I mean, I was aware of what was going on during the whole session. And then, because I told myself I refused to let go of my own sovereignty. And then I've heard recently that, yeah, you never do. You are always sovereign and you're always there. But then you hear stories about, stuff. And you just finished mentioning about that seal and about how people do that. So how does that even happen if the person is sovereign and aware during the session?
So it's not that they're in control of what is happening. What they have done is they have put in a suggestion. And as long as your mind accepts that as suggestion, it becomes your reality. So if I gave you a suggestion that said, you will only eat chocolate if you hear my voice, and your mind says, okay, I'm okay with that, you will not eat chocolate until you hear my voice.
Okay.
Okay?
Because what happened in my session was we actually went in to deal with a certain family member that I was there talking about. But when we got in there, we did whatever work for that. And when she went to try to bring me out, I was like, no, I'm not coming out. And she kept trying to come out. And finally, she's like, okay, I think somebody else wants to talk. And then that's when I revealed a deeper wound that because I had gained trust with her, this part was ready to talk. And it totally floored her because she was like, she ended up crying. And when I, because I literally went through flashback everything during that. It was safe and everything, but
Mhm.
and so I did have questions like, did I really do? I mean, I was aware of all that. I was consciously saying, no, I'm not coming back. I know you're trying to bring me back. And I was saying that in myself.
Mhm.
And so, but then of course, when you're vulnerable and you have people throwing stuff at you saying, oh no, somebody did that, it wasn't real and stuff. I'm like, well, I was already dealing with questions about that, dancing around it in so many ways that it's like, I knew deep down inside, like, no, I didn't make it up because it matched everything I was already questioning. I just didn't question it out loud. And so the other one was like, get my feet wet kind of thing. So those are the things I still have, I guess, a little struggle with on trying to understand, you
Well,
know.
the thing that I want you to understand that at no point can anyone force you into anything. No one can change anything within you that you do not want changed. So it's the old adage, are you going to make me cluck like a chicken? Well, if you want to cluck like a chicken, I can make you cluck like a chicken. But if that's not something you want to do, no, it will never, ever happen. And the other thing is, if your subconscious mind doesn't want to tell anything, so you said that somebody wanted to talk and it was trying so hard to talk, your subconscious needed that to come out when it did. Because if it didn't, it was eating you alive in some way. It was affecting you. So it came out and it spoke the way that it needed to. Sometimes the subconscious will speak in riddles. Sometimes it will blurt things out. Sometimes it'll speak in another language. But it comes out because it's ready. And there is nothing that any hypnotist can do to make you do something you don't want to do. So when we talk about the seals, this was a really big thing with dentists because in the United States back in the 70s, dentists were the only people who did hypnosis. And they did hypnosis for dental work, to calm people for dental work. And they didn't think that anyone else should be able to do it because you had to be a doctor to do it. You had to be a dentist or a doctor. So they would tell their clients that no one else is good enough to do this. Now, their clients believe this. So the seal was created. It was something that the client wanted to believe. So when somebody else started talking to them who didn't have that doctor next to their name, their eyes would just pop open immediately and they would not be able to relax. So that's the type of seal that we're talking about.
Okay,
I,
so I had a similar experience. After this was long after I had the hypnosis session, but I was at a party and they had somebody who was a mentalist who was going to read people's minds, and I immediately said, "No, you're not." In my spirit. And then there was, out of 30 people, only two people he couldn't read, because I know as soon as he said, I'm going to try to read your mind, everybody went, oh, this will be interesting. Let me see if he can. So they were
absolutely.
literally giving permission. And so it's kind of the same thing like that. Like, because when I went in for the hypnosis, I said, I will not lose control. That's what I told myself. I will not lose control. Nobody has that authority over me. And
Mhm.
like I said, during the session, I was totally fine. But then when family members did that, I was literally getting re-traumatized again, of course. So that child part of me was like doubting myself. So that's why I've been interested in learning more. So not only so when I talk to people, because I do know Christians who think it's really woo woo and stuff because they're afraid of demons entering in your mind at any willy-nilly time. And I tell them, I said, it's the same thing. If you don't want somebody reading your mind, you say no. You're the one, your yes is your yes and your no is your no. That's what the scriptures tell you. And I said, same thing with a demon. He doesn't just have authority to walk into your house. You have to open it, have it opening and saying, hey, anytime you want to come through, you can come through right here. It's open for you. And so I understand that from my own experiences like that. But I just wanted to have that clarified, like when you mentioned the seals, because that seemed to go, how does that work if we have the ability to say no? But when you were describing the
Does that
dentist,
make sense to you how it was explained?
yes, because the way you said
Okay.
about the dentist and stuff, well, people are already hypnotized by their doctors anyway, that they totally are
Mhm.
blind to whatever the doctor says, they don't question. So we're already kind of walking around in a hypnosis when it comes to society accepting certain things and, like that. So I do understand that when you talked about the dentist, that makes total sense that they would just, oh, my dentist said this. Okay, yeah, I give him my authority. Yeah, I'll accept whatever he says. But if it was a situation like me, if I was there and a dentist were to tell me that, I'd be like, no, because I already am at that place. So
Yes.
that totally makes sense.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And if I may just jump in, thank you so much for that question, Rebecca, because I think it touched on a very, very important thing. And I'm about to go under Nancy's wing and really learn her style because I just really enjoy her energy and her style. But I studied conversational hypnosis, and the thing is talking. Anything you say is hypnosis. Anything. Narcissist over here talking. They're giving you suggestions, and having that ability to say no is really important, really powerful.
Mhm.
And what I found is, especially in conversational hypnosis, this is why it's important to have lots of different ways and angles and tools so that you can see, because people have had negative experiences, people have seen things, people have programming from TV shows about what hypnosis is. And when you have the tool belt that Nancy's going to give you, it doesn't matter what problem or angle or resistance someone's coming at you with, because you know how to build that trust and the safety in the client relationship, and you know how to just maneuver around those things and put people really like in a deep state of ease and trust, and you build that trust over time. I've had people with religious trauma come in, and it's like, yeah, it's like if it's not Jesus's name, it's not it. Okay, well, let's talk about that. And then the little suggestions like, what if this, maybe this, and you just gently, gently, gently turn someone's perspective so they get the answer they need. And that's a very different style of hypnosis than someone who may have. It sounds like Nancy, and this I'll just kick it back to you. It sounds like the hypnosis seal was an accidental post hypnotic suggestion that we're dealing with now because it was a thing that was popular by doctors, a certain kind
Yes.
of hypnosis. And if you come into that, you won't be able to break through if you're not aware of it. But with the simple awareness and understanding how it went and asking questions,
Hmm.
that's a problem that can be mitigated if you go through Nancy's course. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, the seal is not the biggest part of the
Yeah.
course. The
I
seal
haven't found the
is,
seal yet, but just
yeah,
in
the,
case.
the seal is just, it's something that everybody needs to be made aware of. Because if somebody walks into you and sits down at your chair and you start working with them and all of a sudden their eyes pop open and they sit straight up and they can't relax, you got something going on.
Yep.
You got something that's stopping them. And there's one or two things it can be. It can be something is sealing them off so that they can't relax, or something is blocking them. It's one
So,
of those two things. So you got to figure out where you're going with it.
so have you ever run into anybody who has had MK Ultra programming that you've had to help?
I have not. I have
Because
had I
I've
have
heard
had
that a lot
alien
of,
I've had alien abductions.
Yep.
I've had spirit releases, but I've
Yep.
never had the MK Ultra.
because I have heard that a lot of times people typically will start coming out of their programming around age 27, that for some reason there's
Mhm.
something about that age that their consciousness can emerge through all that. So I was
Mhm.
just wondering if you've ever had any experience with that.
That one isn't something that I've got a lot of experience in. I have heard about it, I've read about it, and I know some hypnotists through some of the channels who have worked with it, but I have not.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
That's okay. We'll leave that to the we'll
Well,
leave
but
that to the big
would there
wigs.
be stuff in the course that you could draw on to maybe help them break their program?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's all they're doing is they're hypnotizing them and, programming them, right? So
Yes.
if it can be broken, it's because there's going to be something in them that wants it broken, that
Hmm.
recognizes something is wrong. And that's why I think at 27, because that's a pivotal age in all of our development, that we start to question our foundation beliefs and what do we keep and what do we not keep and things like that, right?
That would be
So
so fun.
what
That
I
would be
would
so
I would
fun.
go in this direction. I would call it, and I have a specific name that I call it in my head, but it doesn't completely follow this. I would call it a spirit release. So what I would be doing is I would be releasing the spirit that is holding them back. And in my mind, I call it a spirit, but it is actually a suggestion. Does that make sense? So I would
Yes.
go through the protocol that I use for a spirit release, a vow release, a curse release, things like that. Except it would be changed wording, but it would be that technique that
Yeah.
I
And
would
that
use.
and that makes sense because they probably layer stuff like that in there, that with threats and stuff, if you ever tell, if you ever remember, if you whatever. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Thank you.
I use different wording for a lot of things. People say, "Oh, do you know how to do this?" It's like, "Tell me what it is." Yes, I do that. So
Yeah, very good. It sounds like Mila has to go. Thank you for showing up, my friend.
thank you,
It's nice
Mila.
meeting you. And I just thought I was really funny. Like I just have all the funnies that come into my head, and I was like, what a niche, right? Rebecca's gonna be so niche. She's gonna be like, I help 27-year-old MK Ultra uh people regress out of their brainwashing, and like that'd be such a fun, cool, like, little tagline.
It's something that's needed.
Yeah. Beautiful. So yeah, Mila with a smiley face, so funny. So beautiful. Are there any more questions on the program specifically? And if not, we'll share because we want to share. This is a good time. We'll actually pause on the questions. If there's any more, that's cool. But what we're doing right now is we're doing an early bird. Is everyone okay to hearing what the program actually, looks like and when the start dates are? Is that cool with everybody? Yeah. Okay. No one's okay. We got a couple of fingers up. Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing this when's the cohort's going to be starting
Okay, so
in.
the cohort starts on May 9th.
Mhm.
So it goes for 3 weekends. It's May 9th and 10th, which is Saturday and Sunday, the 16th, 17th, which is Saturday and Sunday, and the 22nd to the 24th, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's a
Perfect.
month-long class, but it's technically 56 hours.
And that's one of the things I really appreciate about it because I'm a very, very busy man. I have a wife. I have a business, obviously. Thanks for showing the day topics and times. Yeah, and if anyone wants to look through that more specifically, we can share the PDF on the actual outline. One of the things I really like is it's full day immersions. It's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which means I don't have to travel somewhere and do it. It's online. I can chunk out my weekend and still have my week to do things. And I like the immersive experience anyway because you just download it, but it's not like a whole week you have to take off of work or something. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And yeah, so those are the dates. If you want the dates and the PDF and the outline, we have that. And we have an early bird special going on. So if you decide, and all you need to do to get the early bird is put a $500 deposit down. And I think we're doing the early bird, you said until the 13th.
Until the 14th. 14th
So
of March.
perfect. So Saturday the 14th. So you don't have to make a decision tonight. If you absolutely know, like, heck yeah, like I'm already in. Me and Jessica, we're gonna be going in May. We're working on a couple other people to make it really, really fun. And also, if you come in, the cool thing is I'm already a pretty good hypnotist. Jessica is the therapist. She's been working at it for a long time. A couple of the other people are in it. So you're not just getting in with like greenhorns. When I took Marissa Pier's RTT a while back, 4 or 5 years ago, it felt like I was walking into a kindergarten class, and I had learned more from YouTube than you know what I mean. It felt like I was walking into a kindergarten class. I was like, oh man. So you're getting in with high level people, and I help with sales. Jessica's been doing this for a long time. So if you need anything, you're also building that really powerful network.
The
Um,
biggest thing that about this is the network, is the peers.
yeah,
I mean, we've got the school community, we've got the Legacy Hypnosis Academy where people are on there and they're able to talk, they're able to ask questions. It gives you the peers to be able to practice with. But there's more than that. Your cohort are your peers. Your cohort are the ones that can help you get through all of this.
Yeah.
Hi, Jesse.
What up, Jesse? Nice to see you, brother.
Hello.
Made it
So,
just in time.
so it's really important to know that you have support through the teaching and through the practice time until you're ready to go completely out on your own. And even when you're completely out on your own, you're not on your own. We're always there with you.
Yep. And just so everyone knows, I teach conversational hypnosis. I'm working with Nancy to get my 5,000 hours for my teacher training. Like, I want to be able to certify people. I can teach hypnosis, the fun stuff, but so even after the cohort happens with, me, Jessica, Arthur, we're all kind of connected. You'll have practice. You need 200 hours. So if you need it, I run a whole community where you can practice on anyone you want. So you're never going to run out of people to practice on. You're never going to run out of people to offer you support, like build those bonds. And also, just by getting next to me, I'll help you with sales and connect. So once you get out of it, and if you really want to make this a business, me and Nancy are here to support, and we want to
Absolutely.
help people thrive. So it's not just helping you. We want to help you help the 1,000 people that you're supposed to help in your lifetime, so we can start rippling out in bigger waves, you know? Um,
So just so that everybody knows, this is a certification class, so it has a price tag to it. It does. But what we're doing is with the early bird, you've got a $2,000 for the early bird. With that, you're getting your hypnosis certification and your hypnotherapy certification. So both of those certifications are included in this class. So you get your hypnosis the minute you get out of class, you are a hypnotist. Once you get that 200 hours, we move you directly into hypnotherapist. And that's
Beautiful.
all included with your one price.
Which is awesome, because I've been in stuff where it's like you have to take the program, it's $8,000, then you have to spend $500 on certification, then you have to re-up every 2 years, and da 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 da. This is
At
should
this
be
moment in the United States, it is not required to do CEUs for hypnosis. So I do not require anyone to re-up every 2 years. So,
but you do let anyone come back and retake the training if they'd like.
absolutely. If you have taken the training and you want to come back, jump back in.
That That's
Absolutely.
amazing. So $2,000 early bird special. All you need to get it is to get a $500 deposit down before the 14th. And the cohort starts, you said, March,
It's
April,
it's
May.
May. You like April. It's May 9th.
May
I
9th.
will
Oh,
be in
cool.
I will be in England in April. I'm afraid I can't do the class from England.
That's fine. Yeah, so
So,
do that, and then you have up until the class start date to get everything done. So you have about 2 months to pay it off. And if we need a little bit of squiggly wiggly room, it's totally fine. We'd rather have you. We trust you. Yeah, is there anything else that we're missing?
I don't think so on my end. Does anybody else have any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, Jesse, do you have any questions on the actual program? And we'll let you know that because the recording will be available. We may
Yeah,
have
the
answered
recording will be
already.
available tomorrow.
But if you have any questions for Nancy on the program, you're more than welcome to share, and anyone else who has any questions. And I also would love to hear, Shannon, what your thoughts are too, because
Well,
I love Shannon.
I have a question. So if I'm not ready to start now, when would be the next time to be able to start?
The next one is in September. We have
Okay.
September and December.
So 3 times a year?
We actually have 4 times a year, and the one that we've got March going, which is a week and a half away. So that one's already full.
Okay,
Yep,
so 4 times a year. That's good to know. Thanks.
perfect. Yeah, Jesse, do you have anything for us, brother? Just wanted to check in to make sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Okay. No, I'm just kind of listening. You said the 14th is the deadline to apply for that program. Is that
The
So
correct?
that's just
14th
for the early bird.
is for the early bird. Yeah. It's a
Okay.
$500 deposit by the 14th to get the early bird.
Okay. And then what's the next in the next phase is September?
You've got May, September, and then December.
Oh, so May is another one then. The
Yep.
next one.
May
Okay.
9th is the next one.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I
Yeah,
think
and
that,
if you go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you don't catch the early bird, you can still sign up. Like if you don't have $500 in the next 2 weeks, totally fine. But it's just gonna be $2,300 instead of 2,000. We wanted to just give early action takers a little bit of a thank you, because it's not cheap putting these training on. She has to get the certification stuff ready. She has to, book things out, get things together. So just the deposit would be a good piece, but it's $2,300 full price normally. Um, yeah. Well, sorry for interrupting, Jesse. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to train with you, bro. That'd be. I'm just saying, it'd be fun because I'm
So
gonna do the
James
May
is
one.
looking at the May.
Yeah, May.
So
Yeah, beautiful. And Shannon, do you have anything for us? Shannon's been connected. She's been a friend, been working with me for a long time. She did a Dragon Rider program, so I'm just excited to have you in the space, my friend. Do you have any questions for Nancy?
No, I think just looking at the PDF really answered everything. And I'm really surprised at how in depth it goes and how many topics there are. Because I know I took James' Dragon Rider program, which was like super intensive. It was a lot of work. And then looking at this schedule, it's like even more. So I'm like, okay, this will be even more of a challenge, but
okay,
I'm willing
it
to go for
looks
it.
like a lot of work, but it does flow. Aaron, please help me. Lisa, help me. It does
Well,
flow.
and I'm going, okay, so in the terms of sitting for class, it is like a lot of information, but you get the one-on-one with Nancy, so you can take your background knowledges, your wellness, your, questions about in general hypnosis. And so each day you're going through a lot of information, but it's practical information. It's not like it's so left field. You kind of look at it and you're like, oh, well, when you think about it that way, it makes a lot of sense. So, you know, when you sit down and it's like, what was it, 2 weekends in a row, Nancy? 2 3-day
Yeah, we
weekends?
did we did
Yeah,
2 weekends. We spread it between two
we
weekends.
spread it out. But then like, part of that classwork too is like I got to hypnotize Mila, which was oh so much fun. And I was so nervous about it. I pre-booked with Nancy to let me hypnotize her so I could practice it because I was like, wait a minute, like I know Nancy, I'm comfortable with Nancy. She lets me practice on her. So, and the fact that it's an open book test as well, I'm the kind of nerd. I like post-its. So I put little color post-its on the pages that I wanted to like revisit. And like each section's maybe 5 to 10 pages. And it's like 14-point print. It's not like 10-point print. So is your binder like this thick? Yes. But it's easy to read, right? I didn't find like I actually went so far as to not only read all of what my school's books were about hypnosis, I read all the books that Nancy had on her shelf that I went out and bought to further additional like my
Elf.
hypnosis. Yep. And I learned and I certified in neurolinguistic programming too, which I found to be super helpful for another day. But like it's not quantum science. Like it's not understanding the ins and outs. It's more practical in application. And no point have I ever in the how many months have I been now? Almost a year. Coming up on a year in May, I think.
Yes.
I've never been asked like, oh, do you just do this person's or that person's? It's more like, oh, I've heard about hypnosis. Or, I can see that you're really struggling with something. I would love to be able to help you. I can put you into a trance, a hypnotic trance, and we can kind of go in and discover what it is you're ready to let go of, or like what it is you're ready to go through. I have not had a smoking cessation person. Not that I'm appalled by that in any way, but that's just not my bread and butter. It's not what I attract. So I don't think that if you have a hard time learning, it is still an open book test. So if you wanted to take post-its and just mark out the chapters on the side of your binder, it's really not that hard. And Nancy will literally let you stall class and be like, hey, I really didn't understand what you said. If I can't repeat back to you what it meant, can we just keep going until I do? So I think there's that practical application and absorption that happens in a live classroom that doesn't happen in a pre-booked audio blah blah blah. If that makes any sense. Did I get it, Nancy? I think I got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you for explaining all of that. And it really makes me feel more confident about doing it and not getting like overwhelmed by seeing all of the topics on the screen.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah,
So
thank you for explaining that.
let
Yeah,
me
and I'm
just,
an OCD overachiever. Just I like my details.
so when we start with foundations. And for 2 days, you are going to listen to me talk. I am going to talk nonstop, just like we're in a hypnosis session. I'm going to talk about all the foundations. We're going to get everything set, and then we're going to start moving into the work. So by the second weekend, you will be practicing.
Yeah.
So
And
it's,
Shannon,
even though it looks like it's a lot, you're going to be practicing a lot.
yeah, Shannon's been sitting with me for 3 hours on Saturdays. And so it's kind of like that. Shannon's like, it's a lot, but it's like we're hypnotizing you at the same time and we're installing it in you so you don't have to worry so much. And also the Dragon Rider program that we did a while back was
Yeah.
me in my infancy. And now there's better ways to help people heal than just like blasting them into cathartic releases. Right? They used to call me the cry guy, Nancy, because every call I did, someone's breaking down, ancestral healing, something's coming up. So it's going to be a lot smoother, a lot softer, a lot gentler. Things may come up, but I literally was like, okay, guys, let's put you through the ringer and boot camp you for
The
for eight to
trial by
12 weeks.
fire, James.
Try baptism by fire. Yeah, like it's not that. Nancy's gonna come in
I'm
like
not
the
that
wise
mean.
owl.
I'm not that
Yeah,
mean.
Okay,
I
that
was.
makes me feel better. Yeah, I'll definitely try to join the May cohort. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank
That'd be
you.
so amazing. You'll meet with me and Jessica, and we're trying to get Arthur in there too. So that'd be fun.
So next Monday at 7 o'clock, same time,
Yep.
I'm going to do a group hypnosis just so that people can start to feel it and understand it. We're going to go to the Akash, to the Great Hall, and to the Tapestry Room so that you can follow your threads and you can find who you were and where you're going. So that's something that I believe a lot in, and I enjoy doing the spiritual nature of this. So I decided that I would do this group hypnosis to bring everybody to a place that is near and dear to my heart. So
Yeah.
it's from 7 to 8, and then probably with some, talking afterwards. So it might be until 8:30.
Yep. And we're planning on doing that like a three-part hypnosis series where she takes you through some experiences. So if you're on the fence, come next week and the week after. And if you want the early bird, just put the $500 deposit down, or you can pay in full. It's totally. If you pay in full, me and Nancy will both give you a session. But if you put the $500 deposit down, we'll get you rolling for the May cohort. And if you're on the fence, if you just experience Nancy's magic, I'm pretty sure that you'll know either pretty strongly, either it's a yes or no, or maybe just like not right now, but in September.
And
So,
Rebecca, I'm not pushing for the class. I would love for you to come to the group just to experience it.
yep,
You're
yep,
talking about the thing that he just mentioned? The
Yes.
Yeah, yes, I would be interested in that for sure.
So, and again, yes, do I want you all to come into my class, and do I want to teach you how to be hypnotists and hypnotherapists? Yes, I do. But I also want you to experience hypnosis. So
yep,
it's really important that you make your connection with hypnosis before you make your decisions.
yep.
Can you do hypnosis on yourself?
Absolutely.
Because
I love
I'm actually going
self-hypnosis.
through parts work right now, and so I was wondering if it's possible to do it on yourself.
I wrote a book on self-hypnosis.
Oh, cool.
So yes, you can do hypnosis on yourself.
Well, so while we're studying, we can just hypnotize ourselves and suggest and put in the correct answers, so we got the book in our head.
We actually do, during the foundations part of the class, we do a hypnosis session, which is a self-hypnosis session. And within that self-hypnosis session, I always kind of drop in the suggestions that you get 100 on your test, you understand it all, you know what you're doing, you're going to be such a great hypnotist. So I put all those suggestions in there so that it's already kind of locked in when you start.
Yeah, and sure, why not? That's what we want.
Absolutely.
And then we got proof in the pudding, right?
Absolutely.
That's so funny. So we're gonna we're gonna close up the space and just fun little. It's just so fun to see also before I actually get to go to the certification with you. Just our teaching styles and like the energy and the flavor. You know, like I said with Shannon, she was in the workshop on Saturday, and Nancy's just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do self hypnosis," and I tell you, you're gonna get 100 on the test and this and that. And for me, I'm very image based with hypnosis, so I have like four clocks going like this saying you're going to learn 10 times faster, 10 times faster, 10 times fast. And I'm just like blasting people. And it's just so fun to see the flavors, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to learn from you. And what we'll do is let's all just take a long, slow, deep breath in just to settle back in and flowing down and out. Thank you for everyone taking the time for showing up, for all the beautiful returning students, for your beautiful words. It made me feel, I was already 100% sure, but it made me feel more happy and like connected and like to see. And Aaron, we still got to connect. I feel like me and you need to talk. I just have a feeling, man.
It'll happen. It'll totally
It's gonna
happen. And happy
happen.
full moon to everybody. I don't
Full
know if
moon.
anyone's staying up for the red part, but
Eclipse tomorrow. Eclipse tomorrow. Everyone
Tonight,
batten down the
tonight,
hatches.
tonight. Remember,
no,
Tonight,
tonight.
tomorrow at 3:33 a.m. is the height of the eclipse.
batten down the hatches. We're going through the portal, guys. We're going through.
Hold
It's
on for
gonna
the ride.
happen. So with that being said, thank you guys for showing up. Nancy, any closing words?
I want to thank everybody for being here and thank you for allowing me to speak and talk about something that I love so dearly. It makes my heart kind of happy
Kindness.
because I love this and I love passing it on to other people.
Beautiful.
So I
Amazing.
hope to see everybody next week
Yep.
and I hope to see some of you in class, if not all of you.
Yeah. And Shannon and Jesse, if you guys want to chat about it, I'm trying to fill up the space. So if you want to have a nice casual coffee chat about it, let me know and we'll see if there's anything we can do for you. Okay. All right, guys. Send you lots of love. Go feed your dogs. And enjoy. Bye.
Thank you.